What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mood616 here, and I am back with a hip-hop related video. I know it has been a long-ass minute. Me and Jay have not done a bake sale video in a while, but we should be returning sometime. He's not going to be on the top 21 of 2021 because he simply said he didn't listen to enough from the year, so he's just bowing out of that, so it'll just be my own. I won't have it on the bake sale thing, but it'll just be on my regular channel. So anyways, this video right here is just going to be basically 2021 releases, the yearly update. So this is everything I picked up from brand new 2021 releases, and old school albums that were released in 2021. So, you know, from the boutique labels like Chopped Hearing and 90s Tapes and, you know, Dust and Dope recordings and et cetera, et cetera. So what we'll do here is we'll start off with the 2021 brand new releases. We'll start with the digipacks because that's just the way I have it organized, so it stacks better. And then we'll get into some vinyl releases. I'll show the 2021 stuff and a couple old school records that were released in 2021. I'm not going to show everything because I actually don't remember all the old ones that I picked up in 2021, but this video will probably be long enough anyway. So, but yes, without further ado, let's get into this. First up here, we picked up Madlib, Sound Ancestors, arranged by Kareen Hebden. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce that name, but yeah, so basically the story behind this is Madlib's sounds and samples and things like that, and this dude took all that Madlib work and just arranged it into the tunes that we hear. Instrumental record, which is fantastic. I really enjoyed this quite a bit. Yeah, it was quite surprising. It did sound like some Madlib shit. I mean, I guess all the sounds and stuff, but even the way that it was arranged, no, it could have been Madlib. I mean, if you had to put this out without being arranged by someone else, I don't think we would have known. So, yeah, that's a pretty interesting release right there. I gotta make some room here. All right, I got shit everywhere along here. All right, so next up here we have the Little Monster Deluxe. This was the second of two of these. Like, one came out late 2020 from Madchild, and this was the second one. Pretty decent stuff, man. We got, you know, some of the regular producers on here, like Rob the Viking, of course, from Swollen Members. C-Lance did some work on here. Some other producers, I'm not really sure. He's worked with C-Lance for years and years and years. So, yeah, this one was, you know, it's decent. It's Madlib. You know, he's been putting in work and or Madlib. Madchild just came off the Madlib, my bad. So, Madchild. And then, of course, he released this double record right here, which is not, or actually double, just 2 volumes, but self-titled, well, Shane, Madchild Shane, and then Shane 2. Shane is actually his real name. These are kind of interesting for hardcore Madchild fans because he tells a lot of personal stuff in these records, and it's kind of interesting. You know, he's been very personal for years about his drug addictions and his drug problems and stuff, but he tells a lot of stories on here that he's never told on records before, and they're actually quite shocking a little bit. So it's a very personal kind of double record and stuff. You know, Madchild always comes correct with the rhymes and the flows and stuff like that. Some of the beats are hit and miss, some of the choruses and things like that. But if you're a fan of Madchild, you know, I recommend them, man. They're good. They're decent. They're decent for what they are. And actually, if you order them from his website, they all come signed and stuff. That's why these are all signed. Yeah, and they're reasonable prices. They're really cheap too. So, all right, next up here is Gotham. This is Talib Kweli and Diamond D's project that they did together, simply titled Gotham, which I really like the title of this. This took me a few listens to get into at first. I won't lie, when I first heard it, I was like, the production on here doesn't sound like Diamond D at all. It was kind of taking me back a little bit. I was like, okay. So I listened to it a few more times and just got really used to it. And I really like this record. I think Talib Kweli is really good on it. Diamond D is actually featured on a couple tracks. There's a track on here called Pick Your Head Up with John Forte, and I really like that, man. I actually really like the interview he did on Talib's podcast too with John Forte. It's pretty informative. Busta Rhymes is also on here, but pretty cool project, man. I'd like to see Diamond D doing more one producer, one MC albums like this, because, you know, like I said, it took a couple listens, but it turned out to be a pretty solid listen. Next up here is Aesop Rock with Garbiology. Garbageology? Garbology? However the fuck you say it. Aesop Rock and Blockhead. He's back doing work with Blockhead, which is really cool. It's been a minute since he's worked with Blockhead. I really enjoy this album. Pretty cool CD release. Comes in like this garbage bag. I'm not going to take it out. The cover's just that. Solid record. Definitely different sounding. The last few Aesop Rock projects have been all very kind of different and stuff. So if you're just getting into them now, and I've heard, you know, from certain people that they weren't really feeling this one as much, you know, as his previous projects because they're, you know, just so different sounding. I get it though, but I think if you go back and listen to the early stuff like the Float album that he did a lot of work with Blockhead on there and stuff, you might have a little bit more of an appreciation for it. So yeah, the scratch and sniff, that's so old school right there, man. That's awesome. I love that. But Garbology, the God Fahim and your old Droog with the Yod Fahim. So I finally got the CD in, man. This was a pain in the ass to get in. Holy shit, man. I'd ordered this once. It never, for some reason, it never shipped through Amazon. And then I had another one shipped out and it got lost. And then this was the third attempt and it actually came in pretty good. So that was really bizarre. It was a pain in the ass. I got the vinyl a lot easier than this, but dope ass record. This was the second of 2 collabo records that your old Droog and the God Fahim did this year. This one really stuck out to me, man. The Pharaoh Monch verse on here is so sick, but shit, dude, like dope production, man. We got DJ Preservation on here. God Fahim does a bunch of beats. Cool Chris does some knots. So they mixed up on the beats and stuff like that too. It wasn't just God Fahim that did production and shit and Droog. So awesome record, man. Love it. Jedi Mind Tricks, The Funeral, and The Raven. It's solid. I'll say that it's solid. It's not... Vinny Paz actually dropped a solo record this too and a Jedi Mind Tricks album. Both records, in my opinion, were solid. Not the greatest Vinny solo work or the greatest Jedi Mind Tricks work, but definitely solid, you know? I mean, he's still holding it down. There's definitely nothing wrong with the records at all. This one definitely feels like a Jedi Mind Tricks, and that's what I like about listening to Jedi Mind Tricks albums, is that they do manage to still put those interludes and have that overall feel of a Jedi Mind Tricks album, and it does have it there, and I love this whole Poe thing he's got going on here. It's awesome. So, next up, Damn Me the Fudge Monk conversation piece. This was cool, man. It was kind of cool to hear Damu rapping on here. We got the regular suspects on here. We got Raw Poetic, Inside, of course, Blue, the regular guys that he's always working and stuff. But this is really cool, man. Really interesting project. I had no idea, too, but apparently this thing was limited to, the CD copy was limited to 500. I had no idea. As I picked this up, I think the vinyl was easier to get than the CD. I have no idea. But Damu, fantastic. If you're a fan of Damu's production, you know exactly what you're getting. It's very much on and very much in the lines of Damu stuff. So great work right there. Next up, we got Bazooka Joe 204 Prairie Nielsen, formerly known as John Smith, aka Bazooka Joe. I don't know when he added on the 204. He's changed his name a couple times through Peanuts in Corn. No, not Penis in Corn. Peanuts in Corn out of Canada. I now have a few homies. My homie Tom, if you're watching this video, no, you might not have known about this one. But yes, they dropped a couple projects this year. They've been very quiet the last few years. I know McEnroe's been busy and all these guys have been kind of doing their own thing and stuff. But these records, they kind of came together, and McEnroe produced this and put it out on the Peanuts and Corn label. So that's really cool, man. But I like it. John Smith is a dope MC. You know, I really hate these slimline cases though, because they get lost in the shelves. They're so hard to find. Yeah, you know what I mean. Collector issues. Next up is Blue, The Color Blue. Really cool concept record here from Blue. Of course, every song has the word blue in it. I don't know how many times I could possibly say blue talking about this, but yeah, the production on here, man. We got Surplus, J57, Exile does a couple beats. Pretty much what it is. It's great, man. It's really solid. It's soulful. It's insightful. It's just a great concept. Man, Blue really knocked it out the park with this one, man. One thing I like about Blue is that he works with a lot of different producers. Some of the projects are hit and miss, but he always sounds different. He always has something to say. He always has a different sound. The projects are always exciting to look forward to when they're coming out and stuff. So and yeah, you know, again, when he's dropping a project, I'm always interested. And this one really kind of blew my socks off, man. It was pretty good. Blew my shitter out, really. It was a good one. His project that he did with Exile last year was so dope too. But yeah, really good stuff right here. Highly recommend it. Then we got Nas's King Disease 2. I really hope Magic gets a physical release soon because that shit was bananas, man. It was really good. Now, I will say King's Disease 2 is a lot better than the first one, in my opinion. Or I should say I like it a lot more. I don't want to say it's better. I'll just say I like it more than King's Disease 1. I thought this was a couple steps up from that project. This one had a better feel, better features. It had a better overall just feel to the record, man. It just felt more focused and stuff. I don't know what else to say, but Magic, though, man, the beats, the rhymes, the old school feel to it was just fantastic. It was such a great project. I'm hoping that comes out, sooner than later because I don't really want to keep listening to it digitally. But yeah, Nas, good to see him being busy as hell in King's Disease 2. All right, so we got Sky Zoo, All the Brilliant Things. I've stated many, many times that I'm a fan of Sky Zoo. I've always been a fan of Sky Zoo. I've been down with him since the beginning, and he's kind of one of those MCs that does kind of bore me, though. Like, I'll listen to him, but then it's hard to stay interested through his albums, even though he's saying some good shit. He usually has pretty good beats. He's just, I think I've come to the conclusion it is a combination of his voice and delivery. But for some odd reason, this album right here really stuck with me, man. I listened to this album a lot this year. He's just got some really interesting tracks, and he seems so hungry, and this is like his 10th album or something. He's just hungry as hell. You can just feel it. Some pretty interesting features on here. We got L Scratch. L Scratch shows up on a Sky Zoo record. It's fucking dope, man. I love the song Humble Brag, though. It's really dope. He mostly does a BJ the Chicago Kids on here and stuff, but really great stuff. Really, really enjoyed that one. Currency and Harry Fraud, the director's cut. This is a really short album. I think it's like nine tracks. It runs like 25 minutes. Like, again, I consider these EPs, they're not even over 30 minutes. Ridiculous. But it's like the new album is like a 9-track, 25-minute album, 27-minute album. But, honestly, I'm a big fan of Currency. I like Harry Fraud. This one, it's not the greatest in my opinion. It's okay. It's kind of boring at times. I really dig a lot of Currency's other stuff, a lot more than this, but it's okay. I like the album cover though. I really like the VHS on there. It's fucking dope. Then we had to pick up DMX's new record, Exodus. I'm not really too sure 100% on, the final product of this record. If it was mostly done before he passed away, or if they added in a lot, because there is a lot of features on this record, which makes sense because a lot of post-human records are usually the gaps usually filled in by guest features and stuff. But sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's a lot of guest features, and in Biggie's case, actually, Life After Death, that album was officially finished before he passed away. Obviously, it was just before his record release party. But then there is a lot of albums that are kind of manufactured in the studios after, where you got some verses and then you kind of put them together. So I don't really know exactly what the story is, if anyone can tell me. There is a lot of features on here. I do like the first song, That's My Dog, man, with the Locks and Swiss Beats. You got Jay-Z and Nas, Lil Wayne's on here. Snoop's on here. There's a bunch of features. There seems to be a decent amount of DMX on here, though, so I don't know. It's decent. It's not DMX's greatest work by any means. But rest in peace to DMX, man. It's really, really fucking sad that he passed away. Terrible. Next up here, we got Swamp Thing with World War Swamp, a Canadian group from Canada. Man, Swamp Thing always drops incredibly dope records, man. These guys are so underrated. I literally never hear anybody talk about these mans. Timbuktu, Chocules, and Savion. Dope, man. Really, really good stuff. They always have cool themes. Some of the earlier stuff was a little bit more horror themed and stuff, but it wasn't like horrorcore, but it just had that kind of thing. Of course, we got Word Burglar on here, more or less. Ghetto Socks. We got Bazooka Joe on here, aka John Smith. So another Canadian record, but really good stuff, man. Loved it. Great scratch. So much scratching on that record. It's fucking awesome. Guilty Simpson and Jenso Dean's Ego. And this white thing is going to throw off the camera. Another great project by Guilty Simpson. I love these one MC, one producer records. As you guys know, those are my favorite type of albums. I love Jensu Dean. He's done a lot of great projects. Guilty Simpson's fucking dope. Good stuff here, man. We got Black Milk on here. Sky Zoo makes an appearance. And it's good. Yeah, I love Guilty, man. It's great. Great stuff. What was this one called? Planet Asia's Block Shaman. This was all produced by Dirt Diggs. Man, Planet Asia is like the king of, working with one producer and putting out a million projects, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. This guy drops a 2 or 3 every year. It's just ridiculous how much this guy's working, but with different producers. I love that. That's why I always like Planet Asia Records, because they always sound very cohesive. He always has that one producer, and he just kind of works with it. It's fucking good stuff, man. Released on Air Vinyl. Put the hype sticker on the back there. Yeah, it's good. It's just really short. It's just way too short again. It feels like it's just an EP. It just feels like something to get your shit out there. But yeah, a little bit longer probably would have been better. But I got Feel the Agony on here. Defari, Stylistic Jones, Rome Streets. Good shit. And we got Atmosphere's Word. I really enjoyed this record, man. This is actually one of my favorite ones that come out in a while from Atmosphere. I love the track with A$AP Rocky and MF Doom, man. Rest in peace to Doom also. But that was, this was kind of a shocking one. Like, the beats were really cool on this. I think about 90% of it's really great. I think there's a couple moments on it that, it's an Atmosphere record. But Slug is always correct. But yeah, this one kind of hit with me. I think it was really good. Then we got the Raheem, Devon, and Apollo Brown record, Love Stick. Of course, Raheem, Devon being a R&B artist. So, but I'm a huge Apollo Brown fan. So I pick up everything that he produces, and it's actually really good, man. It's got a great vibe on it. Got Sky Zoo on here again, West Side Boogie. Yeah, it's very soulful. What can I say, man? It's a little bit different for Apollo Brown. I think he was kind of stepping out of his comfort zone a little bit, just working with an R&B artist, even though he's worked with him quite a bit. But yeah, it was a cool project. I really liked it. Beneficence of Confidence, Stellar Mind. Man, what a dope record. I think Beneficence has never missed. This guy has 7-8 albums out now, and I think they're all amazing. And generally, I've said a million times with albums, I don't like to have like more features than songs just solo by the featured artist. But for some odd reason, Beneficence always has a ton of features on his record, but it always seems to work. Like, he's got tons of great ones on here, man. Elda Sensei, of course, from the Artifacts, Master Ace, Phantasm, Cellar Dwellers, Craig G, Lord Tariq's on here, Ali Vegas, Keith Murray, Ross Koss, AG from DITC, Chub Rock, and Mad Scientist is a dope posse cut, man, with Wordsworth, Shabam Shadiq, Queen Heroine of the Juggernauts, and Truth and Noel. Dope, man. Great beats. I love this track, My Way, with Master Ace and Phantasm. Oh, that track is fucking dope, man. Another great one from Beneficence and Confidence. Jazz Spastics, Camera of Sound. Another great production from the Scottish production crew of Jazz Spastics. It's half instrumental, half MCs on here. We got C. Ray Walls is on here. We'd Be Foolish makes an appearance, which is crazy. Artifacts. The percussions are even on here. Filmos Chill. We got Count Bass D with DJ Pockets, Soundsci, Cool Keith, and Doodoo Brown. With Doodoo Brown, what the fuck am I talking about? With Cool Keith and Craig G again, showing up on this one too. But amazing. If you're a fan of Jazz Spastics, man, you can't go wrong with this. It's a fucking incredible record. Man, this was actually probably one of the biggest surprises of the year. This shit, I like this so much more than the album that they put out a couple years ago with the Snow Goons. Actually, it was kind of shocking that it wasn't really that great, but the new Onyx album, Onyx for Life, it has this kind of old school feel to it, man. I just really kind of dug the vibe on this record. It was shocking. It does go into different places throughout it, but there is some really interesting tracks on here, and I was like, shit, man, I hope they continue down this road. It's kind of cool, man. Planet Age shows up on this record. Capadonna's on it. They actually don't have many features on the record, which I thought was kind of interesting, so they kind of held it down themselves, but dope. Mellow Music Group, Bushido compilation album. They're known for putting out many, many compilation albums. All the usual Mellow Music Group artists like Cool Keith. Holy shit, I can't talk. Cool Chris, Open Mike Eagle, The Lasso, Marlowe's on here. Homeboy Sandman. You got Odyssey. You got Sky Zoo, Larange, Joel Ortiz, Stally, Solomon Brigham, which is fucking dope. List goes on and on. We got a song on here called Zero Fucks with Be Real, Cool Keith, Joel Ortiz, and Knots. I love that track. It's probably my favorite track on the album. This overall isn't actually a great showcaser. I always feel like if you're going to put out like a label compilation, you might want to put out some pretty dope shit on there, to get people to, entice them to buy all the other artists stuff. This one just feels like a lot of like kind of filler tracks and shit. I wasn't really overly impressed with this. It's been a minute since I listened to it. Even Eloquence on here. That's pretty cool. But it was okay. I mean, kind of bored me. Then we got, what's the name of this record again? I think it's Something to Ride With. Yeah, new Devin the Dude record. Devin is my dude. I love Devin. He's hilarious. If you know anything about Devin the Dude, man, you know he's just super laid back. All he talks about is fucking bitches and smoking weed, man. It's hilarious. But he's funny. He's got a very good personality. I love him, man. I'm so glad that Devin is still dropping fucking records and stuff. You know what? I don't even think this album even came out this year. Maybe I'm totally tripping balls, but I think this actually might have come out a couple years ago, and it made its way into this. But I might have just picked it up this year. It doesn't matter. Let me see. 2019, yeah, it might have came out in 2019. I think Devin did drop a new record this year, which I don't know if I actually even have it. Maybe I put it on the shelf. I probably put it on the shelf. So, but good record though, as usual. Yeah, so we got Evidence, Unlearning Volume 1, which I hope Volume 2 drops soon because this record is absolutely incredible. Production lineup is fantastic. Man, Evidence manages always to have this incredible feel throughout his record somehow, using all these different type of producers, and it just feels like an Evidence record. It's so incredible. I love that shit about him, man. But man, just nothing but heat on here, man. If you've heard this album, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just from top to bottom, right from Better You, right to, you know, the end of the album is fantastic. So I don't know what the hell this is doing here, this Devin. I think I might have put the wrong one on the shelf, probably, because I'm dumb. Vinny Paz's Burn Everything That Bears Your Name. I can never remember that song, that album title. The solo record, again, you know, he puts out the longest albums, 22 tracks. You know, it does have a fair amount of features. There's really just not a lot of people from the Army of Pharaoh's days again, because I think everyone's kind of like disowned Vinny Paz on that thing, man. It's kind of savage, actually. There's a few guys. I think Block McLeod's still around, but really the kids on here. Chino XL makes an appearance. Ill Bill, Lord Goat. Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's some pretty good stuff on here. Poppy Wardrobe, I thought was really interesting. I think there was a video for that track too. But you know, Vinny, he always brings it. He always holds it down. Then we got DJ Abilities, Phonograph Phoenix. So from Idea and Abilities, first kind of solo project he's ever really put out. It's instrumental, kind of, you know, cut album. It's pretty short, but it's cool. You know, it's cool to see DJ Abilities actually putting out a project, because I like these type of records. Yeah, it's pretty short, but it works for what it is. If you're into these kind of DJ records and stuff, they're cool. Yeah, Solomon Brigham, man. South Center Street. Of course, he is the MC from Marlowe. Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, because he actually produced this whole record too. That's right. So Solomon Brigham actually produced this whole record. Awesome, man. I really dug this. It's got a totally different feel to it. Man, Mellow Music Group always, for the most part, puts out like really amazingly dope stuff. But yeah, this is a good project. And that album cover, though. I love it. 13, A Magnificent Day for an Exorcism. Me and Jay, we did a review for this way back at the beginning of 2021. I keep wanting to say 2001. 2021. I think I was a little bit higher on this record. I listened to this record quite a bit throughout the year, and I'm totally still floored by Pharoah Monch's lyrics on this record. They're so crazy good. Man, like it's just unbelievable. Like the song Racist, man, where he raps from the perception of a race. It's just crazy, man. Like I like how he does it. He's done this in the past, from rapping from the perspectives of like bullets and things like that, and now racist and shit. But like it's just really in depth. Like every time I listen to it, kind of gets me thinking about what he's saying and shit. I can see like some of the beats, because it is more of it's a hip hop rock and flute infused album. I knew this was coming out a couple years back, so I wasn't surprised by it, where a lot of people might not have known it was coming out like this. So they were like, what the fuck is this new Pharoah Monch project? But yeah, I really enjoy it, man. I think it's good. So can't go wrong with that. Then we got the Homeboy Sandman Annulata EP. I don't know how to pronounce it. All produced by A$AP Rock. I'm not the biggest Homeboy Sandman fan. I like him sometimes on the right production. I feel like he's one of those artists that needs the right production to sound good. I know a lot of artists are like that, but him specifically, man, I find him sometimes on beats and I'm just like, eh. But A$AP Rock's beats on here are crazy. Like, they're so good, man. Like, A$AP it's crazy. Like, you know, A$AP was lacing other people and he was getting laced by other. It's just really interesting, man. Kind of like Bronze Nazareth this year too. He did the same thing. Did a couple projects where he was rapping and producing on one record, and dope EP right there. All right, so that's gonna do it for the digipacks here. We'll get into the jewel cases, which is such a small stack. Nobody puts out albums in jewel cases anymore. It's because these digipacks are way easier to, I think they're cheaper to produce. So that's what happens. That's just what happens, man. Yeah, but they're annoying because they get wrecked easier. And I just prefer jewel cases. I really do. That's what I like about a lot of the boutique labels. They put out stuff in jewel cases still, which is cool. Okay. All right. So we got A1 and Phonics, Nothing Less. The new release from these guys. It's like their 4th collabo record. Man, A1, man, Phonics' beats are just incredible. So dope, dude. Very soulful, very, boom bappy. It's very jazzy. We got Ill Conscious on here, Deflo's on here, Master Ace. It's just fucking awesome, man. Just if you really like this stuff, if you know anything about A1 and Phonics, it's just another project you got to check out, man. I think it's really good. Then we got the new one from Czarface and MF Doom, which was kind of a surprise album called Super What. And Esoteric had even mentioned that they'd recorded this album months and months before he passed away. It is a little bit short, though. It's only 10 tracks. I feel like they probably maybe could have recorded a couple more, maybe made this like 13 or 14 tracks. But even the tracks that they did, maybe even had, Eso and Inspector Deck and Doom on more of the tracks together. They don't really appear all three on too many tracks, which is kind of frustrating a little bit. But overall, it's pretty good. It's short, too short. Like I said, that's basically the biggest problem with this record. It does have some pretty cool features. DMC shows up in the first track, which is crazy from Run DMC. We got Dells on here. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's good for what it is. It's just it's a little bit too short. It's kind of disappointing in that aspect. This is a dope record. Edo G and Insight Innovatives. Oh man, great collabo record, man. Really good shit. Dope beats. Really, really good dope beats, man. Edo G's been busy, man, last bunch of years, putting out a bunch of good projects and stuff. This one, again, is pretty short, 10 tracks. I think it does run over 30 minutes, though. But yeah, this is really good. Really, really good Boston collabo record here. I highly recommend this one. Good shit. Then we got the new J. Cole record, which I can't remember, the off-season. New J. Cole, which I've got to say, man, is probably my least favorite J. Cole record to date. I couldn't quite fully get into this. I like some tracks on it, but there's some tracks on here I wasn't really feeling and stuff. He is really good, man, on the mic, though. I think it's more the beats on this one that I wasn't really feeling too much. It's not all bad, though. It's a pretty decent record. It just wasn't grabbing me like some of the other albums he's done. But still, overall, pretty decent record. Next up is the new Shad record, Teo. Shad is the guy that hosts the Netflix series. What's it called? The History of Hip Hop? No. What the fuck? I just totally slipped my mind. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you guys have watched it. Anyways, the host of that show, which needs another season, is this guy, Shad. He's a Canadian MC. He's been doing it for a long, long time. He's got a bunch of albums. This album right here, I could not get into, though. I like Shad. He's progressively getting odder and odder. It's kind of like he's like the solo version of like Outkast, if I had to relate it to something, how their albums kind of got a little bit weirder and weirder to the point where it's like, I can't do it anymore. But this one right here just did not grab me at all. I don't know what the fuck was going on with this one. It's just, it's really bizarre. It wasn't really for me. Next up here, we got Common, A Beautiful Revolution, Part 1. Now, this officially got released. The vinyl got released in 2020. And I didn't know that, actually. I had no idea. It probably got digitally released, too. But the CD came out in 2021. And that's all I knew. I didn't know there was a previous release, but it is what it is. I'm counting as 2021. It actually even says 2021 on the back. So, but yeah, Common's new record, the first half, it's good, man. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it's got some pretty good stuff on here, man. We got Black Thought, I think Black Thought's on here. Chuck D shows up, Lenny Kravitz, which is Stevie Wonder. Like, there's some interesting features on here, but overall, it actually comes together quite nice. And then we got Part 2 here, which I thought was really good too, man. It's very soulful. And I'm glad to see that Common is still putting in a lot of work, even though, he's been doing a lot of acting and stuff. And a lot of guys that tend to do a lot of acting kind of fall out of doing the music and stuff like that. Does Kareem Riggins do... Kareem Riggins produces the whole second volume. I'm not sure if he does the whole first one or not. He probably does. I think he probably does because it is kind of like a double record. There's 9 tracks in here and 11 on the second one, so 20 tracks for this whole project, which I wish I had to kind of put it together as one project because it's very cohesive. But good. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's good. Then we got McEnroe, Big McEnroe as he's going by now, called Brandon. Very fucking cool album from McEnroe, who created Peanuts and Corn, the label. Been around for like 30 fucking years. Again, out of Canada here. It's a really interesting record. It's a cool concept record, how he breaks it down into years and tells these stories from like, you know, his youth and stuff like that. And it's really cool, man. The beats are bananas on this. Totally different from McEnroe. I really love this record. It's just a unique. It's not probably going to be for everybody, especially if this is the first McEnroe album you've ever heard. He comes from the 80s and 90s, and, you know, he used to do a lot of, you know, boom bap stuff. And so, I mean, you see the progression throughout the years. I wouldn't start with this one, but it's good. It's really cool. If you're a big fan of McEnroe, I highly recommend that. And then we got the new Apathy, Where the River Meets the Sea. Fuck, I can't remember any album titles this year. You know, this is a prime example of somebody, well, he's not doing the acting. Now, we all know Apathy is more or less, and he admits it, he's like a full-time realtor now. And I feel like this is where this album kind of suffered a little bit. I love Apathy. I think he's a great lyricist. He's got usually a great ear for beats. I think this is kind of where, like, some of the beats on here, I'm just like, I don't know, man. But there's some good stuff on here. It's not like a bad record. It's just not Apathy's strongest work. It really doesn't stick out as one of the better albums of last year. And this one seemed to fly under the radar. I talked to a bunch of people and they had no idea that Apathy even put this out. So it just kind of came out. It really just kind of came out. I think it was all of a sudden just on their website, and that was it. So, but yeah, so that's for the digipack. Here, I'll show this right here. This album came out last year on vinyl, but the CD got issued this year. And I was happy because I picked up the vinyl last year and I love this project, and that's Godfather Don's Osmosis, produced by Parental. So the CD came out this year, which I was happy to see from HHV. I was very happy to grab a copy because I think that they sold out on the website or something, and I found one through HHV on Discogs, and it was cheap. It was actually, it was just like the normal price. So I swooped it up, man. Loved it. Great boom bap. I love, you know, Parental's such a dope producer. He's like a perfect combination with Godfather Don, because it's exactly what Godfather Don produces himself, these type of beats. So it's a great collabo. That Devin the Dude thing is bugging the shit out of me, man. Where are we? Here, I'm gonna look for this right now, because I think I'm tripping fucking... Is it Soulful Distance? I can't even remember if this one came out this year. It is Soulful Distance. I think this is the record that came out this year. Yeah, this is it. Man, I got a bad memory now. But yeah, Soulful Distance, this is really dope too. I like this because it was cool to hear Scarface again. You know, Scarface has been officially retired, but now he just came out, I think, last week saying that he's officially not retired. And there was a track on here with Odd Squad, which is super cool, which is Devin the Dude's first group before he was in Face Mob and stuff, and then went solo. And we've got Slim Thug on here, and we got Little Kiki, which is fucking dope too. But yeah, this is really good. And I'm fucking positive this came out this year, unless I'm just totally tripping shit, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure, because I think what happened was I had missed the other Devin album, and then I was going to buy this one, and I was like, oh shit, so I bought them both, and I think I just put the wrong one in the collection, but I'm pretty sure this is from this year. I don't know. If it isn't, fuck, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get a little bit messy, and this is very professional. All right, so as you guys know, I'm a huge Chopped Hearing fan. I collect their whole CD line, so I get their package that comes out every bi-monthly now. I think they're doing it differently this year. I think he's going to be putting out bigger packages, so it cuts down on shipping and stuff, which I thank him for that. It's pretty awesome. So first up here is the number 95 in the CD line, Third Eye Entertainment. This is the second volume. They put out one last year too. It's Third Eye Entertainment was a hip-hop production company from Virginia. Got some pretty cool stuff on here. You know, it's 90s hip-hop, 90s boom bap and stuff, so Third Eye, that was really cool. Here, I'm going to take a sip of this right here. Society 6. I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I came across these tape cups. I had to have one. So that's why I have that right there. But yeah. Very professional today. I'm not even going to cut any of that shit out. Whatever. All right, so we got Epic 1. Epic 1.2. This is like an album from 2001 or 2021. Holy fuck, I can't stop saying that. It's like ridiculous. Pretty decent album. You know, it's got production all over the place. He's got Akbar on here, which is really cool. Wordsworth makes an appearance on here. I actually don't know much about this guy. All I know is he's somewhere from the Midwest. I think that's what it says on the site or whatever. So I'm assuming maybe Chicago. I don't know, maybe somebody can fill in the gaps for me. But he's from the Midwest somewhere. It was pretty cool. I didn't listen to it a whole lot this year. I listened to it a few times. You also have Quest Mad Lab on here, Copyright, or K West. I always call him K West because that's how I used to pronounce it when I was a kid. But I think it's actually Quest the Mad Lab. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like how he's got all the... Oh, you got the Quest right there. And all the symbols and shit like that. But yeah, that's the album cover. So that's one of the modern ones. They kind of go back and forth with releases. The Mechanism, this is a Dulio project called The Mechanism. And I think it's basically a compilation of like Chief Rhythm, Dulio, it's Dulio, Extra, Dog Terror. They do a bunch of songs on here and it's like from back in the day. So old school Dulio shit that, again, Chopped Hearing is dropping. It's crazy. I thought this was really cool, man. I'm a huge fan of Dulio, man. I think Dulio's super underrated. Cool project. Pretty short, but cool. And then we got Pseudo Intellectuals, Only Built for Food and Drinks. Of course, that's a play on Only Built for Cuban Links. Completely even rhymes. Pseudo Intellectuals, so cool to see these guys back making records. They haven't done anything in a while. I think it'd been like 10, 12 years or whatever. And all of a sudden they dropped 2 albums this year and they're both fantastic. Fantastic albums. This is a really cool concept record. It kind of says what it is. It's very metaphorical. It's just a really interesting, awesome, laid back, kind of jazzy, hip boom bappy. It's dope, man. All I can say is Pseudo Intellectuals. The name, it's like pure satire. Like if you know what a Pseudo Intellectual is, it's almost satire. But these guys got a great sense of humor. It's awesome. It's really cool. Then we got Shinobi 2. This is the new release from MC Shinobi, The Revenge of Shinobi. This is number 99 in the catalog here. I thought this was really dope, man. I don't really know much about Shinobi, except for the fact that he is from Arizona. I believe he's from Arizona. So it's kind of a place you don't really see a lot of MCs from, is Arizona. But MC Shinobi, man, I mean, this is like straight Nintendo shit right here. So this is the second one. This is the brand new album. This one came out in 2021. They released this one first before they released the first Shinobi album, which is weird. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, I'd never heard of them until this. So this is a brand new 2021 album. I'll state these if they're old school or new school, whatever. Then we got Trevor J and Loopholes. Project. This is a brand new project from 2021. Loopholes being a production crew from Norway. Yeah, they're a production crew from Norway. And Trevor J, of course, is Vex. He's got so many different fucking names. He's in so many groups. Last Jazz Club, Apes and Graph, bunch of shit. He goes by Trevor J. I don't know why he has so many damn aliases. I know him as Vex from Last Jazz Club, which is fucking amazing. And Chopped Hearings dropped lots of their stuff. This is a really great project. 11 tracks. It's pretty short, again, but very smooth, soulful, kind of boom bappy stuff. Like usually what you get with, Vex and shit. So Trevor J, good project. This was really dope, man. Absolute value. Rip Wreck Shot and Hip Hop 93-94 EP. Rip Wreck Shot and Hip Hop. I love that track, man. I couldn't believe that this actually got a release, man. I remember that track from back in the day. Fucking dope. All this stuff wasn't fully... I'm sure all this stuff was kind of floating around. I'm pretty sure this stuff was floating around back in the... Some of these projects that Chopped Hearing put out, like, it's completely obscure. They've never been released and stuff. But some of these tracks I'd heard before growing up back in the day and shit. And Rip Wreck Shop and Hip Hop is one of them. I think there was another track too that was floating around. I can't remember, but if you guys heard that, you might not know the title, but it's dope. Absolute Value 93-94 EP. Dope. Then we got MC Shinobi again. Yeah, this album originally came out in 2016. That's one thing about Chopped Here, and it drives me nuts is that they never put the years in them. But yeah, this album dropped in 2016, so it's like not an old school, it's not a new, it's kind of like mid-range. They don't do a lot of these. It's kind of an oddball, but I get it because they put out the other Shinobi album. The cool thing about this record actually is there's a song in here called Feeble Attempts that was produced by Steve. I'm not sure how you pronounce his actual producer name. It's Monplacebo, something like that. Immobilarity 1 from YouTube. Monplacebo or something. I'm not actually 100% sure how to say it, but yeah, he produced a track on here, which is really cool. So big ups to Steve, Immobilarity 1, for having that. But this is a dope record, MC Shinobi. I really liked it. Then we got the Foundation Entertainment EP, 8 tracks. See, they call these EPs with 8 tracks. Now, if it was a new album, it would be called a fucking album. Yeah, another one for Virginia, I believe. This another production company for Virginia. A bunch of cats on here. You guys can pause it if you want to see the breakdown of that. But yeah, another cool one. This is number 103. And then we got Affiliation, the unreleased EP. I want to say this is like from the early 90s. I think it's from the early 90s. Again, I'm not too sure about the years. I wish they had to put the years, but I think it's from the early... They've released some other Affiliation stuff. But yeah, again, 90s hip-hop, boom bap. You know, exactly what you're getting with Chopped Hearing. Pretty much on the same line. So that's really... This was really cool too, man. Yeah. Dope. All right, so some more brand new 2021 stuff here. Pseudo Intellectuals, Pizza Money. Man, I just didn't understand how they could have topped Only Built for Food and Drinks until Pizza Money came out. Again, having to do with food. It's very metaphorical. This album is incredible, man. This is so incredible. I love this record so much. It's so good. It's all I can say, man. If you're not up on Pseudo Intellectuals right now, you got to get up on them. They're fucking awesome. They're dope. All right. Oh, actually, speaking of Immobilarity 1 or Monplacebo, maybe that's how you pronounce Monplacebo. I'm sorry. I'm sure Steve's not watching this video. But, so he produced a track on here called, or also on this project, Kelsey's the MC DJ Archives. I love this album too because it's short, but it's I think mid 30s, something like that. A lot of scratching on here. Yeah, he produced a song on here called Don't Pull It, and it actually has his name on the back here this time. So Monplacebo. I think that's, I feel so stupid when I can't pronounce people's names. Awesome. I love this record though, man. It just has a great vibe to it, man. It's some really good 2021 hip hop here. So very cool stuff. And that was the thing with Chopped Here, and they generally put out mostly like 95% like 90s boom bap, but this year is probably the most modern releases they've ever put out in a year. Going back through the whole catalog, the last 2 years, they started last year, they put out quite a few, but this year they have definitely dropped in abundance. And here's another one from 2000. I believe this album actually originally was supposed to come out in 2016, maybe had a digital release. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is officially released in 2021. I'll probably count it as a 2021 album. And that's Ill Conscious and the Marchatini from Loopholes. We already talked about Loopholes, the crew from Norway. And we got Cool DJ KC Fly. Dope project, man. Really, really good stuff here. It's short, like an EP. Yeah, so 7 tracks, really good stuff, though. I love Ill Conscious. Great MC. And then this is a project I don't know anything about. Honestly, I don't even think there's anything on the Chopped Hearing website about this either. Golden Swords and F+, the Classical Weapons EP. Yeah, it's modern. I have no idea like what this is all about and stuff, but it definitely kind of follows the whole... It doesn't necessarily sound like Wu-Tang, but it's kind of playing off that a little bit, as you can tell by the song titles, things like that. It's, Golden Swords. This was cool. This was really cool, too. Then we got Godfather Dawn. What was the name of this one? The Final Unreleased Project, which I think is kind of a mashup of their 2 EPs that they had put out on vinyl. They finally dropped the CD for it, which is years and years later, because they put out the vinyls tons of years ago, lots of years ago. So the Final Unreleased Project from Chopped Hearing here. Got the Homicide remix on here, which is dope. Freaky Flow. I'm one of the biggest Godfather Dawn fans out there. I love anything Godfather Dawn I'm going to have to grab because I love him. It's always been one of my favorite. In my opinion, he's one of the best MC producers of all time. And he's one of my favorite too. I don't like to use the word best because I hate that word, but Ashton DJ Casanova Irons, the project producer, the Texas Tape 92-95 EP. This is really good too, man. I have no idea where Chopped Hearing finds this stuff from. Like, I won't lie, I've never heard a lot of the stuff that they put out because it's that obscure. Like, it never had any type of release, maybe trunk tape releases. You know, it's crazy. Like this shit right here. And this is one I just never heard of this shit, man. It's so good though. I really like this. This early fucking Texas hip hop, man. I mean, 92 to 95. I mean, this is kind of in the heyday of, you know, Rap-A-Lot and shit like that. We all know the Ghetto Boys and that whole label, but yeah, this is good shit. Love that. This was amazing. This actually like blew my socks off. I couldn't believe it that they released this. The early 90s pre-demos from the Rhythm Blunt Crew, aka Crew. I can't remember who changed because they were going by Rhythm Blunt Crew, and then someone, it might have been Russell Simmons, said, no, you got to change like that Rhythm Blunt Crew. No one's going to fucking buy your shit, man. I might be wrong about that, but this is awesome, dude. So good, man. I love the demos on here. There's some really great tracks on here. So if you're a fan of Crew's, I think one and only album that they put out, this is really good. This is definitely worth owning. It's awesome. This was like, this was so disappointing in it, like a good way though, if that makes any sense. So we got Creaturenomics, aka Creature, Hunt for the Fortune, produced by El Prez Beats. This is really short. There's only 6 tracks on here. It runs maybe like 15 minutes. It's really, really short, really short EP. If you know who Creature is, he was featured on the Vondelay Villain album, on the track, on the Posse cut. It's totally escaping me right now, but that's where I knew Creature from. I'd never checked out any of his other stuff, and then I kind of forgot about him, to be honest. And so Creaturenomics, this project comes out, and I was like, holy shit, it's so Doom sounding. It's crazy. Like, he sounds like Doom as he raps, man. It's crazy. Beats, like, this is a really cool project. I could have used another 6-7 songs on here to kind of flush this one out. But really cool 2021 project. Enjoyed the shit out of that. Just way, way too short here. So, all right. So that's the mix of old school releases and new school stuff from Chopped Hearing Records. That's everything that they put out CD wise last year. Actually, I'm totally lying. There is one more. I'll be back. Actually forgot to grab this. I am just Mr. Professional today, getting up and turning my back and everything. Fucking awesome. But yeah, no. So we got the Custodian of Records Audience producer. It's instrumental record here. This is actually an odd release because it's not part of their Chopped Hearing, you know, numbered line, which is up to 112 now. This is like its own release. It just says CD 01, so Custodian Records 01. I don't know if this is like a different line that they're doing or whatever, but this came with one of the packages. So I do have some other stuff from Custodian Records that Chopped Hearing to put into this label or this run of albums and stuff. So, but yeah, it's cool. I like his beats, man. You know, instrumental shit. I can dig it. All right, so moving along here into some 90s tapes releases, man. One of the best boutique labels out there, dropping so much good stuff. They do drop some pretty obscure things, and they bring albums to life that have been just kind of lost and maybe people don't know about. And they also re-release some more common 90s stuff and things like hence 90s tapes. I pick and choose when I'm buying on CD and vinyl. So, but I did want this, the Manish Audio Sedative. I didn't pick up the vinyl because I actually have an original copy. It's only a single record, but I feel like this album doesn't really need to be on double because it's actually not that long. And plus, my record sounds really good. It's fine. But yeah, I wanted a CD copy of it, so I grabbed the Manish Audio Sedative record. You know, it's not one of my favorite albums. I really like the song Manish on here, and that's kind of why I didn't want to get the new double record, which, you know, they always cost me like $70. It's fucking insane, but that's cool. And then these next two, man, oh my god, these were like holy grails because these are two of the best Canadian albums, I think, of all time. And I've had these albums downloaded, like I've had them in my system for, you know, since probably 2000 kind of thing, right around the time that they both dropped, late 90s, about the time you could actually get music on the internet, because I couldn't find physical copies of these. They were impossible to find. 90s Tapes resurrected Down to Earth's record with some bonus tracks on here, which is absolutely amazing. We got Mathematic on here with some bonus tracks, which is like totally amazing. This is incredible record. I've never heard anyone talk about this unless you're Canadian, if you were down with Toronto hip hop and things like that. But Mathematic was one of those underground cats that was just truly blessed, put out so much good stuff. but just never got any clout, man. No one ever talked about him. But I'm hoping people are listening to this now, because it's really amazing. It's awesome. That's all I can say. It feels like the whole album is a fucking single. The beats are so incredible on here. And then we got Ecology, Mathematics' first album, which I'm so happy that this finally came out on disc again. This thing was impossible to find. I couldn't even find a copy back in the day. In fact, I think it was only CDR. I'm not even sure if it was even officially pressed up. I'm not even 100% sure. But it's incredible. Awesome Mathematic record. And he is, of course, part of the group Down to Earth, hence why doing both of these. So this is awesome. I highly, highly recommend those. One of my favorite groups of all time is the Nonce. I've mentioned that hundreds of times on here. The Side of Things project, more of an EP, I guess. Yeah, I'd say it's more of an EP. It's cool because if you get the CD release, this it actually comes with a bonus track that's not on the vinyl, which I did grab the vinyl too because it's the Nonce. But good stuff, man. The Nonce, yeah, they've been dropping some good Nonce stuff too. Speaking of the Nonce here, we got Yusef Afloat. Rest in peace to Yusef Afloat from the Nonce. And it's cool to see these EPs. It's actually made up of 2 EPs, The Foreign Objects and Hard Times, which were like impossible to find back in the day. But they're both here on one project. Awesome. Yeah, they still don't know what ever happened to him. He was found like on the side of a freeway, and that was it. Just probably never investigated because you know why. It's very, very fucking sad because I love the Nonce. They were so cool to me, man. Like when mixtapes came out back in '95, that shit just blew my shitter out, man. And even to this day, it's actually one of my wife's favorite songs of all times too. She loves mixtapes. Yeah, this is cool, man. It's really cool to have. And then we got some more Godfather Don here from 90s Tapes, which is Exotic Essentials. It's made up of a lot of instrumentals and stuff like that. And Front Ass Ducks is on here. Slave New York. There's some, 8 Million Stories. There's some tracks on here that, I think I have on other things and stuff. It's not really the greatest release from 90s Tapes, but it's still Godfather Don. There's some instrumentals on here I'd never heard before. So, of course, I'm going to pick that up because I absolutely love Godfather Don and everything he does I got to pick up. Woo, out of breath. Yeah, so Godfather Don. And I just grabbed a CD of that. And then here's one. This is from a label I'm not actually 100% sure of. I got it through Hip Hop Enterprise, but it's not a Hip Hop Enterprise label. It's from Fat Flava Records. And they put out Joint Ventures Demos 91-92. And that's fucking cool. Boston Crew. I actually have the Joint Ventures album on CD and vinyl, like the album that they actually put out. But this is cool, man, that they put out the demos. And it's got some pretty interesting stuff on here. Different versions. And yeah, I was really digging this, man. So if you're a fan of Joint Ventures, good 90s hip-hop right there. Now we're getting into the Hip Hop Enterprise albums, which I picked up a few this year. Chaotic Style, Infinity. Chaotic Style, man, just crazy. Which is a combination of older 90s stuff and then some newer recordings. They're not like brand new. I think they're like early 2000s, but they're just kind of newer. They're not right from the 90s and stuff. But so their early stuff has no features. Well, Crooks is on the track. Big Jazz is on the track. And then you got the Cellar Dwellers. There's a track on here called Mad Hardcore with Cellar Dwellers, Hell to Skeleton, MOP. What the fuck? That's like crazy. And then Bro to Bro, Smooth the Hustler, and Trigger the Gambler. That shit's bananas. So it's kind of a half and halfer, but it's really good. Really good. I dig it. Oh, I'd be so happy to finally get... Man, it's cold in here. My nose is running. I always turn my furnace off because it's right above where my computer is. All right, so I was so happy that this got a re-release because I missed this CD back in the day and I could never find one for cheap. It's one of those albums that just never went down in price. I wasn't going to pay $40-$50 for it. I was like, fuck that. Maestrom and DJ 2020, Let Me Explain. Oh, man, I'm so happy that this came out. I think this might be the whole... Is there bonus tracks in here or is this the actual original thing with the... Okay, can't fully remember. I think that might just be the original track listing. But this is awesome, man. This originally came out in 95? 6 maybe? 94? I don't know. Maybe I can't remember now. Good stuff, though, man. Good 90s shit right there. Highly recommend it. And this is one, I knew the name. I had no idea that this guy had, like, a whole project. I don't know if this thing is put together from all of his shit or if this was an album that was actually I think it was a record that was supposed to come out that got shelved. And that's No Other Sinner, the album. And I think they call it the album because, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. And I think this was supposed to come out in the late, like 99 or something like that. But yeah, he's a Wu-Tang affiliate, so he's got a bunch of Wu-Tang guys on here. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch. I think there's Inspector Deck, Pop the Brown Hornets on here, Dirt Boogs. And that's really it. But yeah, it doesn't really have that crazy Wu-Tang sound, but it does at the same time. It's kind of, I maybe it's because I know that he's affiliated, but this was really cool. It kind of came out of left field for me, so that was awesome to have No Other Sinner. And then I was so stoked when this came out, man, because he put out an EP, I believe in 95, and the shit was like impossible to find. I don't even know if it officially ever came out. Might have been just promoed. I can't remember. I'd have to ask my cousin. Because he was this is how I knew about all this shit back in this, like all this really crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But yeah, Monk with the Funk. So they called this the Holy Hoods Anthology. It's so crazy. Double disc. Here's the whole breakdown of this shit right here. So we got, it's like literally an anthology. I'm sorry if that's not 100% clear. Did we come here for the glare? Yeah, probably. So a bunch of the songs at the beginning, and I want to say that the original EP probably never did come out. I could be completely off base here, but I know a lot of things that are pressed up for promotional use and stuff are the clean versions. And then they usually send those out, and then they release the explicit versions too. But I think for some reason this one never got to that point, and the clean versions are the only ones that we have for a bunch of the first tracks. Pretty much everything on the second disc and second half of the first is all uncut. But the first bunch of songs, they are the clean versions because that's just how it was. But they're still incredible, man. I love this shit, man. I Blame My Neighborhood. There's so much good stuff on here. I was so happy to see this come out. Oh man, I've had a bunch of Monk in the system for years. I was just happy to see, and there was a bunch of stuff on here I'd never heard, man. There's like radio cuts on here, like on radio stations and shit. Really cool. Highly recommend that. Yeah, and then is that it? Okay, so this is the last for the Hip Hop Enterprise stuff, and then we got Trace Your Steps. Early 90s stuff right here. Didn't know much about this one, actually. I won't lie, I was not pervial to this one at all. So when this shit comes out, I'm just like, giddy up, man. Giddy up. I'm all over it, because there's nothing like discovering new early 90s hip-hop and shit. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, so A$AP Rock re-released Appleseed on CD and vinyl, which I did buy the vinyl this year. Fuck, I didn't even pull it out. I do have the vinyl somewhere. But yeah, so Appleseed finally came out. You know, it's not his best work. It was recorded like in his basement in like 99 or some shit like that, or in his apartment. It's early A$AP Rock. You can see the growth. It's kind of cool. All right, from Smoke On Records. Now, the vinyl came out last year. The CD came out this year. And, of course, I had to copy because this is, along with the other two albums that I showed, the Down to Earth and Mathematic, this is also one of the best and one of my favorite Canadian albums of all time, is Really Living by the Rascals. Fucking amazing, man. This is originally came out, I believe, in 92. Is widely released in 93. And actually, the 92 release has a different cover. It's, like, impossible to find. And I'm from, like, the Vancouver area, and that shit was impossible to find. So it was the wide release that you could really only get, which is, I always knew about this album cover, which is fantastic. But the song Really Living is just amazing. Funky Migraine's fucking amazing on here. I just love this record. Is so dope. And it's got one of these cool kind of push cases, and it's got, like, can you see that right there? How it's all different? Yeah, it's like weird. It's such a different case. Cool. All right, so on to the Dust and Dope recordings, and then we're going to be done. We're almost an hour into this. Holy shit. Damn, I was trying to keep this thing like 45 minutes. Talking too much. So we got DJ Quicksilver Cooley presents Things Will Be with Black AG, the MC. Didn't know much about this, but I'm going to grab it because if Dust and Dope is releasing it, you know it's going to sell out in a minute. And I actually think that this one didn't sell out, oddly enough. Usually their projects sell out in like 5 minutes, it seems like. And then they're on the aftermarket going for crazy money. But I think this one didn't sell out. I don't know why. But I thought it was pretty cool. Early 90s stuff. I believe this was originally supposed to come out in like 91 or something like that. Like, yeah, recorded 90 to 92. So that era hip-hop, it sounds exactly like what you're expecting from 90 to 92. And then we got Rubber Room, I believe from Chicago, Gothic Agriculture. So this was recorded in 94, 95. Man, Rubber Room's so underrated, man. I got another Rubber Room record too. It's fucking awesome. I believe this is actually made up of maybe a couple EPs and singles. I think it's like an EP that they'd recorded, they'd put out, and then there was a bunch of like 12-inch singles and stuff. I think that's how it was put together. I could be wrong on that too. But I think that's how this thing was assembled. So, but really, really great stuff, man. Yeah, love this one. Great release. Great release. Yeah, maybe this one didn't sell it. Maybe it's the Project Crew. You don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. This actually, Dustin Dope actually put this out in a long box edition. I almost bid on it. I was like, it's so much more for the long box. I really miss long boxes. I wish I still had. I have one unopened long box to this day. It's Paris is Sleeping with the Enemy. I never opened because I have the actual CD. But man, I had so many long boxes back in the day. Fuck, I don't have any of them anymore. But yeah, so this was originally recorded in 1988. An unreleased 1988 album. And everybody knows that's I try to get everything I can. I'm missing like no albums from that year. It's like one of my favorite years. But yeah, pretty interesting album, Project Crew. It was pretty cool, man. I was just like, okay, it's 1988. It sounds like 1988. Pretty much, yeah. It's good. Oh, this was so dope, dude. Man, I actually have his album on tape. I never actually had the CD. I gotta figure out a way to get the CD someday. But Papa Chuck's the Texas Roughneck original demo sessions from 1992. This is awesome, man. If you know Papa Chuck, man, you know what you're getting yourself into. He's fucking dope, man. Super underrated. Yeah, Texas MC. I believe he's actually was he originally from Texas? Yeah, I think he is. And then we got the Jersey MC here. Mighty G Poetic hard rock hip hop. Another Mighty G Poetic release. Oh my God, we're getting so blessed. If it isn't like the collector's heaven for movies right now, it's like hip hop, man. There's so many insane boutique labels that are putting out so much crazy stuff that we just weren't getting before. This is awesome. Mighty G Poetic, man. Oh man, this is the second dope. I think the other one was put out by Gentleman's Relief, who's rest in peace that company. They're not around anymore. They put out his first album that was shelved. Fucking awesome, man. I love this dude, and that album is incredible. One of the best, like, unheard of albums, man. So good. But yeah, good stuff from the 90s. And then I think okay, I think these guys are originally from Seattle. Brothers of the Same Mind. Yeah, what's the album called? Gotta Have Style. I think these guys are originally from. I wish they would say that, but I'm pretty sure it's Seattle. So this is the Sources magazine's Unsigned Hype in 1990. Yeah, that's crazy. So this is a project that was probably obviously recorded around that time, 91 ish. So in the early heydays of Mix-a-Lot from Seattle, the dark side. Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. I was kind of. This doesn't really sound anything like. It doesn't really sound anything like Seattle hip hop, but then again, a lot of the stuff from that era, it's all kind of different. Like Mix-a-Lot didn't sound like a lot of cats. But MC Class is part of this, and I'm wondering if that's the same MC Class that I'm thinking of, or if there's more than one MC Class. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to actually look into that because I've got some MC Class stuff that was released by Chopped Hearing too, but I'm not sure if it's the same cat though. But yeah, so Brothers Same Mind. Anyways, we'll get into some of this vinyl here. A couple records that weren't released on CD this year that I had to pick up on vinyl. Not had to, but I did. And People Without Shoes, the green thing of ours. Awesome. It comes on green vinyl. It's super sick. I'm not going to take it out. I love this album, man. Oh my God, the beats on here are so dope. Sean Peng. Oh, hard boom bap. 2021 hard fucking boom bap. Like this shit just, Mr. Hip Hop, it just bangs, man. It's so dope. Man, People Without Shoes has been putting out so much good stuff, man. So much good stuff. It's like, it's ridiculous. Another incredible project from the Good People, The Greater Good. Man, I saw a list the other day. They did the top 100 albums of 2021 And yeah, listed their top 100, and then they had a section of honorable mentions. And this album was in the honorable mentions. I was like, what the fuck? Crazy, dude. Like, am I just not hearing? Are they not hearing the same thing I'm hearing? Because this is like, it's awesome. It really is fucking amazing, man. Emski is so dope, dude. I love Emski as an MC. Saint is such a dope producer. Like, Emski is so underrated, man. He's so underrated. He's been around for like 30 years. He's put out so much good stuff. People, get on the good people, man. Oh, good shit. This was only released on vinyl, and it's like the only project that Droog has done that's only been on just vinyl, I think. Well, no, it's some EPs and other things. I'm talking album-wise. With the God Fahim, The Wolf on Wall Street, me and Jay on the Bake Sale, we did a review for this also. It's really short, but it's really good. It's all produced by the God Fahim. It kind of feels more like a God Fahim album, where he starts off every track. He produced the whole thing, and Droog is kind of secondary on the record. It's a collabo album, but it feels more like a God Fahim album. But check out the review if you want to hear more, but it's good stuff. And then this one right here, I believe was only released on vinyl also. And I mentioned Bronze Nazareth earlier. Of course, he produced this album. Recognize Ali is rapping on it. Season of the Seven. Really good stuff here. Man, Recognize Ali is so dope. I wish his releases got better, or his albums got better releases. Like, a bunch of them are CDRs, and I'm not paying like $30 for a CDR and shit like that. And I don't know, that's the problem with collecting physical media these days. A lot of the albums aren't getting the right due that they need. So, you know what I mean? But yeah. So there's that. Oh, my nose. And then we got, I get to say it again, Garbageology. It's like, I can't fucking say it. On vinyl, it's on 2 different colors, double vinyl, double color. I just posted a picture on Instagram, I think yesterday, actually. So, great album. And then I just got this in. This was a pain in the ass to get to, man. It was really fucking, the Yod Fahim record. I showed the CD. I just got this in. I haven't even listened to it. It's brand new. This thing, I don't know where it I'm just so tired of the mail system. It's ridiculous. But got that on vinyl. Believe it's on black vinyl. Jazz Spastics album. I showed the CD earlier. Here's the vinyl of it. Had to pick it up. One of my favorites of the year. It's like an incredible record. So, and then had to grab this Pseudo Intellectuals Pizza Money on vinyl because it's fucking awesome. And I highly recommend this to everybody. MF Doom, Czarface, Super What, had to grab it because it's it's Doom. Grabbed it on vinyl because it's Doom. Try to get everything Doom puts out on vinyl. So, and of course this album right here, Unlearning Volume 1, Evidence, which is awesome. It's just, it's true. I swear this album gets better every time I listen to it, man. It's awesome. Ryan Sayers puts out such amazing releases, man. They always look so good. So that's the 2021 albums on vinyl. I did pick up a few retro ones, and I actually just realized that I don't know where the hell it is, man. Oh yeah, it's actually right here. I think this actually did come out this year. Yeah, so here's Appleseed. Here's the record for Appleseed. Right, I just showed the CD of that. And we got Victor Vaughn's album Vondelay Villain. It's like on gray vinyl, double vinyl. Finally got a copy of this. I was missing it so bad. It's my favorite MF Doom album, so I had to have this like long time ago. So that's amazing. I did grab Mathematic on vinyl too, Ecology, because it's amazing. People, do yourself a favor and check out this record. It's awesome. And this one also, Down to Earth, Mathematics group. It's ridiculous. I'm serious. Like, every song is like a single. It's crazy, man. It's so good. And then we grabbed the Nonce. Had to grab the Nonce Side of Things on vinyl too. Showed the CD. These are all 90s tapes releases right here. Yeah, those last 3 are. And then, oh yeah, here's one that was only released on. This is a brand new release. It's an old school release though, of D-Claim and Madlib. I'm not even sure exactly what it's called, to be honest. But it was tracks that were recorded between 93 and 96. D-Claim and Madlib, and apparently it was lost for like 25 years. And this thing got a vinyl release, and it's awesome. It's super like, oh man, it's dusty, it's dirty, it's really cool, man. I really enjoyed. Oh yeah, In the Beginning, Volume 1. That's what it is. It says right on the front. But yeah, this is really cool, old school release from the 90s that came out this year. That was really cool. And I'll show this one. I know there's more around that I picked up that throwback albums that got released. This is very common. But I was happy to finally obtain it, which is Redman's Muddy Water on vinyl. Put up VPM Hip Hop. Yeah, it sounds good. It's good stuff, but classic Redman. Love this record, man. It's just so dope. Maybe one day we'll actually get that part 2, but I don't know. I really don't know. So that is gonna do it for the vinyl. I think there's more old school stuff. I don't know, but this video has gone on long enough anyways. So that's gonna conclude the 2021 Roundup video. My next video will be my top 21 of 21. I know this is a little bit late, but it is what it is. It's just the way I operate. I'm always late on everything when it comes to videos. So I'll do honorable mentions and things like that. So that'll be the next hip hop video. Will be coming out in a couple days. And I'll break it down how I made my list in that 2021, like what qualified and what didn't qualify. I do these things to simplify things, you know, just to make it a lot easier on myself. And yeah, it's very, very simple. But yeah, that video will be coming out in a couple days. So hope you guys enjoyed the update. And like I said, that was everything from 2021 that I personally picked up physically. Yeah, so now I guess I can put the stuff back on the shelves, because I keep it separated all year until I do these videos, and then it goes into the well, actually I'm not going to put it away yet because I still need to record the top 21 video. But again, that will just be me, no Jay. All right, guys. Have a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. Deuces!